they like the banter? What episode is this?
What do you think it is?
32.
34.
42.
28.
51.
You got it the first time.
36.
Let's just skip 12.
You had it the first time.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
skip 12, and then we'll take a bunch of shit we already put out, and we'll cut it into short episodes and release it as the Lost Files.
Let's do them by 3 and then divide by 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do it that way. Or let's scratch that, reverse it.
Ocho nueve. Is that 89? Or is that 8 new?
Anybody? I'm thinking, hey, you know what we need now?
Deuce.
You know what we need?
Trente deuce?
Trente deuce. I think that's it.
Why? Hold on real quick. What? Go ahead before you lose your
what we
train of thought.
What we need to do is you need to get one of those signs that's up above out of his screen that says applause. Now that we have a studio audience.
I'll bet he has one.
I mean, now that we have a studio
Every
audience.
time I'm in an antique store, the best ones have like basements. Every time I'm in an antique store, I buy all the old shit that they have in there so that he can set up his Cold War bunker. Do you have your bunker set up?
It's close.
It's close?
Can't wait to show you.
Will it withstand a direct hit?
Well, most of it's foam.
Most of it's foam.
So you're
Besides the real stuff that you
highly
Every
insulated.
time we go to Michael's or Joanne's, whatever one's in Jackson, I don't know which it is, this Ryder truck pulls up, and the same dude gets out of it. I'm not sure if he's my FBI tail or what his deal is, but he gets, like, I've seen this dude at the same store 4 or 5 times, and he's driving a rented Ryder truck or U-Haul. Maybe that's his daily. Maybe it's just cheaper to drive. Maybe that's what you should have got. Just fucking get a U-Haul truck.
Can you imagine how...
And he goes in there. I don't know what's in the U-Haul van. Maybe he's living in it. But he buys foam core board. Like he's doing like cosplay stuff.
Can you imagine how pissed off you would be? Just pissed off if you got your big break in the FBI. They're like, yeah, you're going deep cover.
I'd be mad. I'd be mad that they sent the emo kid after me.
They're like, you're going deep cover, bro. You're going to follow one of our biggest cases. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to get a Ferrari or a souped up F-250. And they're like, Ryder trucks out in the...
They're after the wrong John Willis. They're actually tailing me, but they're after the White Devil. Are you aware of John Willis,
the White Devil? Yeah.
Yeah, the leader of the
Wait a minute,
Triads.
did they catch him?
I don't know.
Huh, that's interesting. I don't know if they caught him either.
All right, so we're...
Yeah, man, I'm talking about Willis, one of the
Wrong music. We're episode 32, Pulling the Thread podcast.
Yes, 32.
Can you just real quick before we jump into this, why is it a proven fact that a 1911 is the best pistol in the world?
John Browning Mosley. I mean, we're still using almost all his firearms to this day.
Because it's won 2 back-to-back world wars.
It has won 2 back-to-back world
wars.
wars.
Are we still using them?
Small incursions. I mean, we brag about 2 world wars, but I mean, think about all the small incursions that it's also stopped because it's just the best pistol. It's the Lord's caliber, really.
Did you watch the YouTube video I sent you the other day about the 90-year-old man?
I've seen that before, where they
fucking medal of honor, 2 bronze stars, gold star, silver star, like
where some Karen
fucking rushed the Nazis single-handedly, took out a bunch of bunkers, went ahead, like went over the mountains, and then his fucking HOA's like, you can't have an American flag.
Yeah,
holy shit, man.
He won though. He
won.
Wins that case.
The fat electrician does the fucking best videos, man.
Yeah, he won that case, it's just crazy to think that some Karens got together and were like, oh, he can't have that American flag. I actually think they were more pissed off about the flag pole.
Maybe. Why? Because the height?
Yeah, I think they were more pissed off about the flag pole because those rules in HOA is all about governing what you can and can't put in your yard.
Well, a flag is loud.
I mean, it can be.
Do you hear your flag?
No, not
inside?
At all. Well, I mean, if we have those hurricane gusts that come through every now and then, you can hear it snapping a little bit. But
have you ever priced a flagpole? Like, do you have any concept of how much a real flagpole costs?
They're expensive.
Holy shit, man. Like, have you been to Jackson lately?
I have not.
So, they have a massive, like the biggest flag I've ever seen in my life is at the Gander Mountain there. And it's been taken over. It's not Gander Mountain anymore. It's like Camping World now.
Yeah, it's Camping World.
And doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason. I think they just don't have the staff to put the flag up and take the flag down because it's down more often than it's actually flying. But it's the most beautiful thing, man. I've got tons of drone video around it. We'll go when we're in Jackson. We'll drive over there just to go see the flag. Yeah. But I priced out a flag, just like a 30-foot flag, man. You're like minimum 10 grand.
A good one.
15 grand. That's no concrete. That's just raw, like aluminum pole. That's not anodized. That's not clear coated. That's not shit. And that's not. And then it gets more expensive when you have the internal guy wires and all the stuff that goes with it. And then the flag itself is very expensive as well. Like I'm gonna get a flag that's like 12 by 16 feet, 12 by. No, you're fucking not. No, you're not. That motherfucker. You need like a fucking $30,000-$40,000 flagpole to put that thing on. Holy shit, man!
The bigger the flag, the better the pole.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. But dude, could you imagine like that flag at just at full flail, the fucking noise that it would make?
It'd make some
the
cracks
building.
for sure.
And then the with that wire in there, man,
hitting the side. Yeah. It'd still be worth it though.
Yeah, it would. I want one that they can see from town.
You'd have to be taller than 30 feet.
Oh, it'd have to be way taller than 30 feet. But that'd be the deal.
Your best bet would be to do like you were going to do when you were going to have the
sign put up.
Giant sign put up.
That was 60 foot.
Yeah, 60. Get you a 60-footer, but instead of old school fabric, you should put an LED sign up there. That way you can change it whenever you want. So you can have American flag or whatever you feel.
Plus, we could pulse rate it so fast we could subliminally message them.
Wouldn't it be?
Somebody'd be like, they say motherfucker right there. No, it doesn't, because we can just click it.
Yeah, but then the EPA would come shut you down because there would be people having seizures on the bridge.
Maybe that because we're grandfathered in, like we have no codes or zoning. So when they were trying to make a stink about the sign out front, they couldn't touch it because there is no signage law for the county. That's only for the city. So they weren't able to do shit.
And it wasn't really even you have to walk up to it.
Yeah, they had to trespass to take the pictures.
To see what you were upset about.
Yeah, they had to trespass. So are you aware of the new crack house?
Oh, yes. I am aware that somebody's son just walked out of the bathroom and then they had to close the White House down because of a cocaine problem.
Cocaine. They evacuated the staff, they said. Now in the same reporting.
I want to know, does that negate his deal with the feds? Can we now charge him for all the crimes he's actually committed because he has to be on probation right now?
He would have to be on pretrial release of some sort. He'd have to be under custody.
No, he did a
sweetheart deal.
He did a sweetheart deal with the feds for the gun and the immense amount of tax fraud. He did a sweetheart deal with them, which means he's probably on probation right now. And if he's on probation right now and he's dropping bags of cocaine all over the White House, that null and voids his deal with the feds, and we could charge him with whatever the fuck we want.
So the same reporting that I heard that in the same block of reporting, it was said that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden were at Camp David while this happened. Now, I also heard that this happened in the library at the White House and that it was Hunter Biden in the same block of reporting. So I don't know.
Well, you're going to have an immediate White House response.
They have not. The White House has.
So you're going to have an immediate White House response on what information is told to the public, and obviously, if I tell you that a prostitute was killed in the Lincoln Library, the first thing they are going to do is tell you that the president and all his staff was not there, whether they were there or not. Like, even if Biden had nothing, or we'll just say, I don't know, Will, the president, had nothing to do with it, they're still going to say he wasn't there because they don't want the implication.
Were you there? Is this your cocaine? Are you sure this is? Is your cocaine somewhere else right now?
So they're still going to say that he's not there, whether he was there or not. They're not going to be like, oh. So you have reporting from the White House, right? They have to release their information.
Was there a prostitute killed in the White House?
No, there's you never know.
Was there ever reporting of a prostitute
no,
being
I don't
killed
think
in
so.
the White House?
I think
because they snuck her out of the tunnel.
Yeah, Bill was going out of the tunnel, so that there's no reason.
That's
to
what
leave
Tim
in the White
Pool
House.
said. He's like, I feel like all the presidents probably did a bunch of drugs, especially Bill Clinton. Like think
I
about the people that we look up to and like we cite through history, right? Sigmund Freud, right? He's the head of psychology and like and any of these dudes, any of these guys that we give accolades to for furthering things through history, right? They were all using performance and performance enhancing chemicals.
Chemicals, yeah. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, you think about it, like Bush.
Mm-hmm.
He had a known cocaine problem.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a known cocaine problem, but prior to being the president,
prior to bringing all the drugs in the country.
So do you think maybe he might have done a couple of lines of blow in the White House? I'm sure he did. Now, everybody I talked to about him that's actually met him while he was president says he's the nicest guy ever. Just nicest guy. Like I have a good friend of mine was a Marine at 8th and I, and he had to do all the dignitary for not silent drill team but drill team, had to do all the dignitary stuff. So whenever dignitaries came in, they would have the Marine Honor Guard there and they would do manual of arms stuff. And Bush Jr. would always show up early in his suit with his cowboy boots on, and he would literally go over and he would literally go shake the hands of all the Marines, and he would talk to them like they were regular people. Where Clinton would soft shake hands, and he wouldn't look you in the eye. He would look over the top of you.
How do you think Obama was?
I'm willing to bet that when Obama showed up somewhere where the honor guard was, that he never even talked to him. Like Obama probably treated them. And again, hey, if you're up at 8th and I and you know this to be different, you can comment in the bottom. But I would assume that Obama treated them like they didn't exist. Like that's the hired help.
Well,
you don't recognize the hired
Trump's
help.
got him at the table with some Big Macs.
Yeah, while Trump's at the table with Big Macs.
Like, come on, everybody at McDonald's, I'm buying.
Yeah, I would assume that Obama treated him like they didn't
exist. Did you see the meme going around? It was back for Mother's Day, but I just recently saw it, and it was some women in the room and Michelle Obama, and they're like, "Is the vagina? Is your vagina in the room right now?" Talking about Big Mike.
Oh no, probably not. Probably not. It's funny that those two people. I just saw somebody doing a comparison of the two people that are in charge of the Obama Foundation, and they're like, this dude looks awful. This dude looks awful like one of the children, and this woman looks exactly like the daughter.
Right. They don't have any kids of their own. Is it true that he's in Kenya right now? Have you heard that he's in Kenya for a year?
I don't know if he's in Kenya now. I heard he was going to go to Kenya for a year. So who knows? Who knows? That could have all been just talk, but I mean, why shouldn't he visit his homeland? I mean, that's where he's from.
That's where his birth certificate's from, right?
That's where he's from. So why shouldn't he go to Kenya?
So are we going to have an election?
No, we're not going to have an election.
You don't think so? You don't think it's going to happen?
I mean, I don't know. This could all just be disinformation, and you don't know.
Manipulation.
Yeah, manipulation. The word is they're going to that the right or the left is going to allow Joe Biden to be outed on all his shenanigans, because CNN and all those lefty media stories that wouldn't touch Hunter Biden's laptop with a 10-foot pole are now starting to report on Joe Biden being bribed and also blackmailed by the Ukrainians. So I think they're either going to let the Republicans impeach him for this shit, or it's going to get to a point where he's going to have his Nixon moment and he's just going to be like, "I'm out. You got it, Camilla." And then Camilla will be president for about 15 minutes, because she is, I mean, let's be clear, she's a soup sandwich. So she's going to be president for 15 minutes, and then the DNC is going to immediately gravitate towards Gavin Newsom and be like, "This is the guy. He's the guy that's going to be president."
She's married to a white guy.
I believe she is. She might be. I'm not 100% sure.
I like all these people screaming racism, how they're married to fucking white people.
And, Camilla's family were slave owners, so...
Is that true?
Yeah. Yep. They were slave owners down in Jamaica. So, what are you going to do?
So the Hunter handgun thing, how did that story get out there? We found that out because of the laptop information leak, or was that prior, or how did that
that's
get out?
the handgun thing is prior, and it might be the issue with Hunter Biden is this is multiple. It's not singular. So, for example, he had a handgun that he left in a trash can out behind a
Dumpster.
Dumpster out behind a Chinese restaurant that the Secret Service policed up and covered up. So, again, law enforcement became aware that this was Hunter Biden's firearm.
How did this get out, though? Like, why do we know this? How did this get out?
That handgun incident came out prior to Daddy even being president. That was while Daddy was vice president.
And they're just now charging him for this?
No, he had a second handgun issue. So he had a second handgun issue. This is after being a known felon. He had a second handgun issue, and I think the reason why they did it was, they put the tax fraud and the handgun together was so basically what they were doing is sprinkle crumbs on it, and they're like, hey, you guys, look, we did something. We did something about this. But, man, if you're enforcing some minute statute 10 years after the fact, you're especially 10 years after the fact, you knew about it, right? Law enforcement. We knew that Hunter Biden was illegally acquiring firearms.
Wouldn't statute of limitations already be up on that?
Well, I think the gun that was found behind the Chinese restaurant, I think that statute of limitation was up. I believe this is a second showing, and the deal they gave him, no prison time. It's bullshit. Like, it is just a total travesty of justice. Like anybody else out there in the in the free world would be spending 10 years in jail just on the gun charge, not the millions of dollars of tax evasion. The tax evasion would put regular people in jail too. But because it's Joe Biden, the DOJ was like, hey, look, we punished him, and they slapped him on the wrist and he went back home. So
if they impeach Biden,
yes,
he still carries out the rest of his term.
No.
So what happens then?
You are thinking of what happens when they impeach you and they don't have any evidence to convict you. If a president gets impeached and they convict him, he's out. Vice president's in. See, that's the misnomer when you hear all these liberal Democrats running around going, Trump's been impeached twice. Yeah, he won both times. So
yeah, that's not that you had a trial.
Yeah, it was an impeachment. You had a trial, but he won both times. You didn't win because you were full of shit.
Wasn't Bill Clinton impeached?
Yes, Bill Clinton was impeached also.
After the fact, though.
He
wasn't removed from office though.
Because again, we didn't win.
Okay, so that's not a real impeachment then. They went through the hurdles of it, but he wasn't truly.
Yes, so he was
impeached as much as fucking Trump was impeached.
Correct.
Okay, if
you're impeached, it's just people use it's that wordplay thing. If people use the word to make it sound like you committed a crime, even though you didn't commit a crime.
What you meant is what they should have said is we tried to impeach.
Yeah.
So if Biden is removed, or it comes out that he's been dead for the last 2 years or whatever, what happens then?
Camilla gets to be president of the United States.
Right. Okay. So what's for a day, and then what?
Well, again, remember we're going into the 2024 elections. So what happens is Camilla becomes president. She's a lame duck. She doesn't do anything because she can't, because she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. So Camilla becomes president. She's a lame duck. They don't even allow her to run again. They just get Gavin Newsom, and they're like, hey, Gavin, you are going to run for president. Gavin Newsom becomes the nominee for the Democratic Party. Mm. That's the thought process.
And who's he run against?
Who's he run against? I don't know. It would be the reality is just like the last time, there's no Republican that holds a candle to Trump. So if Trump, theoretically, Trump, they could arrest Trump and put him in jail, and I believe he would still have a better chance. He would still have a better chance than the current running mates, because the thing that the Democrats don't take into consideration, right? What they're trying to do is create something that keeps him from getting elected. But the more they push these fake, the more they push this fake news and this fake agenda, it's that cry wolf thing, right? The Democrats keep crying wolf, and they keep telling their constituents that they got him. They got him this time. He's going to go to jail. We don't have to worry about him. They got him, and they never get him. So the reality is, we're almost at a point where Trump could commit an actual crime in front of live TV
because they've cried wolf so much,
and people would be like, "Well, that's what you get. You've been telling he's a criminal for all this time," and so I think people would still vote for him.
You think this is just manipulation to get the average public to believe this? I mean, because if you went out and talked to the average person on the street, they probably already think that Trump was impeached or that Trump did these things. Because where do they gather news from, right? The average person. Why do you still?
Well, you can't say the average person.
I keep hearing low information voter.
Yeah.
But what I look at is the general population is just low performance persons, right? They're just the average.
Well, if you take low information voters, right? You take voters that aren't getting a lot of information, they're still getting bits and pieces, right? They're still hearing like, Trump was this, Trump was that. And in the end, there's no results. So even low information voters are like, we're at a point where people are looking around the corner and going, what the hell is going on?
I say this because look at when you're out in public during COVID, right? Everybody, you saw the difference in people during COVID.
Yeah.
So wearing the costumes, not wearing the costumes, whatever. But you still see a lot of people wearing those costumes. You see a lot of older persons, and especially black folks, still wearing those fucking masks because nobody told them, hey, this shit, you don't have to wear this. This was bullshit. It wasn't what you thought it was. They got that piece of information and they're not listening to anything where they're talking about this was all horseshit. They're still listening to that same mainstream media, and the mainstream media didn't come out and say, hey, this is over. They just didn't say anything about it. So those folks are still wearing the fucking costumes.
Again, I'm going to say that demographically, right, when you think of older voters, there's certain things about older voters that are different. One, if you're old, I mean, I would say, like, if you're 78 years old and you're worried about COVID, you're also worried about influenza, you're also worried about the common cold. So if you want to wear a mask and that makes you feel better, because it's not saving you, it's not doing anything to keep you safe, if it makes you feel better, then wear the mask. Just wear it. But on the flip side, as far as voting goes, older people are more concerned about their safety financially and physically than anything else. And the one thing the Democrat Party has done for the last 4 years is done everything to tear down those things that keep them safe.
Yeah, typically those people are going to be more nuclear family as well, family values. And you have all this other shit from the left being force-fed down your throat right now. So I see what you're saying.
So that's right up there with, that's right up there with, you think about Black Lives Matters. Those protests, those riots. It wasn't you and me buying all those, or it wasn't me, sorry, or the studio audience buying all those guns. It was first-time gun owners out there just buying guns through the roof. Why? Because the Democratic Party showed everyone that you weren't safe. And not only were you not safe, but we're not going to do, as a party, we're not going to do anything to keep you safe. When you have the mayor of Chicago who's got riots going on all over her town, and the only thing she does is put police officers around her house, that tells you everything you need to know about the liberal.
Not only that,
left.
she raised the fucking bridges. Like, she trapped all those motherfuckers in that.
Yeah, that's all you need to know about the liberal left. They don't care about you. If you are outside their sphere of influence, meaning if you're just a regular Democrat that lives in Ohio, they don't give two shits about you.
Are you catching anything with France right now? You seen any of this?
Oh yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. Have you seen the gorilla video?
No.
Okay.
Gorilla as in fighter or
no?
Animal?
Gorilla as an animal.
Why do they always do that? Every time there's riots, they let the fucking animals out of the zoos.
If you have an opportunity to do this, immediately look up the gorillas escaping from the zoo in Paris. It's hilarious. Like these gorillas look like they're on a bank heist. Like they're on 2 legs. They're looking to make sure it's okay for them to leave. It is hilarious. Like
Somebody
I
let
feel
them
like
out? How'd they?
yeah, they're letting all the animals out.
Why do they do that? They did that in Oakland too. There was fucking lion walking around downtown Oakland during the riots.
Same thing in Paris. They let
Yeah.
all the lions out. They've already had somebody attacked by the lions.
I 100% believe that if society collapses, people are going to bring the lions and tigers here.
It's Jumanji.
Yes.
It's Jumanji in
Yes.
Paris right now.
Yes.
Look, again.
Okay, so they killed a kid, 17-year-old kid. Maybe I don't know anything about the kid. But
Okay.
they've killed this kid. This is the catalyst to spark. It's already smoldering. They're just looking for a reason to go.
This is not why any of this is happening.
Okay.
That is Macron and his government. That is Macron and his government trying to create a social justice narrative. Okay.
I feel like Macron and Trudeau are the same.
Oh yeah,
person.
they probably are the same people. They probably
both
swapped
their moms
spit.
were fucking
Yeah.
Castro.
Yeah, they probably swapped spit for sure. But it's the French government trying to create a scenario that makes it seem like this is some sort of woke movement. The reason why Paris is on fire has nothing to do, well, I don't want to say nothing to do. That helps, right? But the reason why they're on fire is because they did a no vote on raising the age of retirement. And that's why the port is closed. Port's not closed because an immigrant kid got killed.
They're pulling all the farmland.
Yep. It is 100% because of the policies that the French government is making. And it's the reason why Macron will not declare a national emergency and let the army go in there and crack skulls. Because if he does, he's admitting that this is something other than what they're trying to tell the world.
Would that put an end to it?
I don't think so.
Or would it just ignite it even greater?
I think if you put French soldiers on the street and allow them to act like French soldiers, that it won't be long before guillotines are being rolled out of basements and Macron's going to be flying off to a unextraditable country.
How many troops does France? What's a France military look like? I
You
mean,
know,
do they really have a military other than the Foreign Legion?
They have a military.
Yeah, but they're real fighters. They don't let them in the country.
That is true. The real fighters are exiled to the worst places in the world. But the French army have real troops, and they can put them on the street.
So how on fire is France, right? Because Nashville, right? When Nashville was rioting, and you look at it on the news, you see all these people. But I know what it actually looked like, and it was only there at the fucking Capitol building, right? There was nothing else happening. So when you look at it through the lens, you have the perception that all of France is on fire. Yeah. How much is it? Is it like one city block and it's all contained right there, and you guys can riot right here? Or is it actually like civil war about to fucking kick off?
I don't believe we're at the civil war part. I don't believe the reality is I don't believe Macron has to worry about a guillotine yet. And I think that might be the reason why the army's not on the street. But as far as it would be like, I would say it is pretty localized. It's Paris proper, it's Paris city, but because that's where the seat of government is, right? I don't need to go to Marseille in the middle of nowhere to protest because there's just nothing but French people drinking wine. Paris is the place. Now, the port being closed is a big deal because those ships are getting turned around and they're not getting anything in. So I don't believe it's again, it can't be like Nashville. It can't be like any of the localized stuff we've had.
Larger.
It's much larger because
I thought I saw a dude with a fucking RPG.
Because Macron,
I thought I saw him with real military, guns and shit.
Because they're currently trying to shut down all social media.
Who's arming them?
Showing the crisis over there. Who's arming them?
I'm pretty sure I saw a dude with a fucking RPG.
But here's the thing that people don't. Again, we tend to whitewash everything about how things work. A European Union, when you have a European Union, what it means is black market weapons can flow anywhere within the European Union because you just opened all the borders. So RPGs, they're probably getting them from the Ukrainians.
So where are they? I mean, we have an open border. Where's
where's
our holiday?
We don't bring anything across our open border except malaria.
Okay, so I was going to talk about malaria in a minute here.
Yeah.
Are you aware of malaria? Texas and New York right now?
Yes.
These are U.S. citizens with malaria. These are
Yes.
not fucking people coming across the border.
Yes.
It happens to be simultaneous with the
Bill
Bill
Gates
Gates
releasing
vaccination
mosquitoes.
thing
Yes.
that's supposed to prevent malaria.
We were just talking about this in the car right over. Okay. Is Bill Gates releasing mosquitoes with malaria on it in order to reduce the
Him
population?
personally, no, he's not.
Well,
It-
Bill,
is
is
his-
Bill Gates is the Bill
Is
Gates
his name attached to something that has happened?
is the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Fund releasing
She's a dude too. There's a
releasing
penis right there.
mosquitoes in order to increase malaria in the United States in order to reduce the population? What I think is going on is we have a coinky-dink. It's a coincidence. Yes, because Bill Gates, because that corporation that he sponsors and funds has actually been releasing mosquitoes for years. This is not a new thing. They've been doing it for a long time
Yeah,
because
it's been in Florida for several years.
they're trying to. The idea behind it is reduce the population of mosquitoes, which it has never worked. This is what I think. I think that we have increased, because if you think about the two cities you just named, we've increased the amount of people who are coming from parts of the world that have malaria. So, again, it doesn't matter that the person is an American. If I put 25 Malaysian refugees in a tenement next door to you and they're getting bit by mosquitoes and then flying over to your house and biting you, you're getting malaria. That's how it works. So, I highly
need quinine, right?
no,
Quinine fights malaria.
quinine
What's this? It's seltzer water has quinine in it.
quinine is how they used to do it in the old days, and I think quinine.
It's made from orange peels.
Yes,
if
but I
remember right.
believe quinine is just a symptoms reducer. It's not a defender against malaria because they've been using it forever. Doxycycline.
Really?
Yes,
So,
so
you
if
can get your chlamydia taken care of with
yes,
your
if you take a low
malaria.
if you take a low dose doxycycline, it will keep you from getting malaria.
little public service announcement. Any STD you can get on your junk can get in your eyes. So be extra careful with the eyes.
Yeah, don't be splashing that stuff in your eyes. I don't know who's doing that, but you're dirty.
It could happen, man.
You're dirty.
That's a dirty girl. Stay away from that with your
You're
face.
dirty. Yeah, so you could low dose when you're in an infected area, you can low dose doxycycline in order to reduce.
When's the
your
last
chances
time
of
there
getting-
was a case of malaria in the United States?
It's been over 50 years.
For real,
For
50
real,
years? No, even
For real.
like immigrants and shit.
For real.
So when's polio coming
Because we
back?
used to screen these people. We don't screen them anymore. When's polio coming back?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised with the influx of refugees that came from Afghanistan and some of the more
Did you see
remote
a lot
areas.
of deformities and stuff there?
Oh yeah, they have polio all over Afghanistan.
So are you aware that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation went into India and gave vaccinations to hundreds of thousands of people, and immediately like 50,000 brand new cases of polio popped up within like an 18-month period after those vaccinations of only in people that were vaccinated? I don't remember what the vaccination was for, but this is very easy to find if you Google this.
Well, I mean, again,
India has like a fucking kill order on Bill Gates.
well, India, you need to step your game up because the
Aren't
world
the-
will be a better place once you
Who's
get rid of
who's
that
all
guy.
the truck drivers with the fucking head wraps?
Sikhs
Yeah, with
The
the
Sikhs.
sword. With the sword, aren't
Yeah.
they from India?
are Sikhs from India? I'm not 100. I don't know. Studio audience?
You're always
Anybody?
pretty
Anybody?
badass in the movies. You need to
Yeah.
start cleaning some shit up. Okay, so are you aware of the other Bill and Melinda? Well, Melinda's not in there anymore. You know, she left, probably tax reasons or whatever. But Bill Gates has a new product that is on the market that's approved by the FDA and is actually hitting the grocery stores currently. And when you look at the ingredients, 0.999% is citric acid, and the other 99% is proprietary and not disclosed.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's called a peel, and they're putting it on avocados, hard fruits, and such. And I've heard a couple of things. They put everything in a room and they gas the room with this product, and it stops the degradation of the product. So you could have an apple, I believe, up to 18 months on the shelf, zero refrigeration, does not degrade. You can't tell that it's not a day old. And it says right on the label or on the paperwork for this shit, it says, do not eat this shit. Wash it off because it'll fuck you up.
Right. But people will still be eating it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, still
Well,
be eating it.
I've been hearing about this for about 6 months, and I eat apple. I eat an apple every day, and I've been looking at the apples, right? And I just noticed that the apples that just came in the door didn't have any fucking labels on them.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's. I just thought it was weird.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the same. The same thing with his mystery meat his lab grown meat that he just put out.
How old is he?
Who? Gates?
Yeah.
He's got to be in his 60s.
So we got another 20 years of this bullshit.
Yeah, but the problem is the problem with Gates is he has a whole cadre of people below him that he's grooming to take his spot.
Yeah.
And so while his successor is not gonna have the same party line as him, right? I would assume that if I was Bill Gates' successor, the first thing I would do is shut the fuck up and continue all the work, but not be out in front all the time, because he spent billions of dollars to fix his image in the 90s, and it's only made him worse.
Just like
People hate him even
just
more.
like Klaus Schwab. I mean, his kid just took over everything. The kid's been to the White House 17 times in the last year, they said. He's way more politically active than Dad was.
Yeah.
Or at least front facing.
Front facing, yeah. So I would assume that that when you cut the head of the Bill Gates snake off, there's going to be 10 other heads that are going to pop up that he's been grooming for quite a while. The only thing that you have like Bill Gates, really, is because he's the figurehead, it's singularly minded, right? So those 10 dudes that are below him that he's grooming, they have to toe the line, right? They have to toe the line.
Chances are good that he's really not even the dude. He's just the poster boy, right? For us to focus our.
I don't think so.
I
think he's the figurehead, and so because the only reason why I say that is because you don't ever hear about infighting within the organization, right? Because if you get 10 people in a room, they're going to have 10 ideas of how we dominate the world, right? Everybody's got a different idea how to globalize and ruin Americans' lives, so you don't hear any of that. That's the plus side. Once Bill's gone, you're going to have these people that are going to be jockeying for the position. So you'll see the infighting that's going on, and it'll probably expose a lot of the real nefarious things that they do.
They must do well at keeping their people close or killing them. I mean, because you don't hear a lot coming out.
Right.
I mean, everybody around here that goes to church, as soon as they're mad at the church, they go start another church and then tell all the other churches secrets. But you don't hear that shit happening with Bill Gates.
He's good at crushing people. Like Bill's pretty good at crushing people, and he's really good at image. I mean, he hasn't been lately because he keeps doing all this fucking crazy horse shit. But if you think about Microsoft, right? He stole that.
Yeah.
He stole that, and he completely crushed the guys he stole it from.
His mom handed it to him.
Right? So
are you aware of who his father was? Do you know about Bill? You know about Microsoft?
Oh, yeah.
Microsoft and the Holocaust, IBM and the Holocaust.
Yeah, I saw all that, yeah.
It's fucking pretty crazy.
So, yeah. I'm just saying that, Bill Gates, he might be a great human being, but he's a turd.
His grandfather, they were tied up too with Starbucks. The dude that founded Starbucks, grandfather pushed him out in some manner and took over Starbucks. And then it changed. Have you seen all the meltdowns with Starbucks employees?
Well, I mean, who cares?
You don't go to? I know you don't go to Starbucks. If you walk into, when's the last time you were in a Starbucks?
Probably with you over by REI.
So 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, a couple years ago.
So Starbucks, it wasn't crazy then, but the last few years you walk in and it's like Kool-Aid hairs and everybody in there looks like they play Magic the Gathering and shit. But if you walk in Starbucks right now, you're like, the fuck's going on here? There's all adults here. There's like actually a manager here, and like this place is functioning. Things are clean. Like, fuck, what the hell is going on? And they're like, okay, no more Pride Month. Take all that shit down. So you have a small, you have the beacon, right? The motherfucker in there with the strobe fucking light on their head, acting crazy with the fucking green hair and the looks like a fucking paper shredder blew up in her face. And they're not there currently because they're protesting that there's no gay pride decorations in the store or whatever. And it appears that there are adults back running fucking Starbucks. Now that could also be consolidation because Starbucks closed down another 500 some stores. I think they've closed a couple thousand so far. But they just had They just had another trans fucking meltdown attack, when trannies attack kind of shit, and it's gone pretty viral.
Well, I mean, Starbucks is a corporation that provides a service, and they messed up just like a lot of other corporations by trying to wave a political flag. If you provide a service, provide a good service, and then if you need to wave some sort of political flag, you do that in your own backyard, not your corporation, because they've been the reality is Starbucks has been hemorrhaging money ever since they did that. Ever since they decided, hey, this seems like a good idea to bring woke stuff into the corporation. And I would say this, for a little bit, it probably was, right? For a little bit, they probably opened, I don't know, an extra 50 stores in Seattle because they allowed all that shenanigans. But then when you have people dying in your bathrooms of heroin overdose, you have, again, crazy people delivering coffee who are forcing their ideology on the people that are buying coffee. It's a no-win. It's just a no-win. Corporations need to get their fucking heads out of their asses and just start providing product again, and it'll be a better place. It'll be a better place for everybody, right? The LGBT community does not need Starbucks to wave a flag for them. They don't. Mm-mm. They don't need to wave a flag for them, right? They don't need that. And it's just, the reality is, it all started out as a way to financially try and draw people in, right? If I put a Pride sticker on my burrito, am I going to see sales increases during Pride month because everyone's like, let's show our pride?
You're going to lose a lot of your other.
Yeah, truth is, it's a no-win situation. Why would you put yourself in that situation?
But I think Starbucks was tied in with that, like the BlackRock stuff, all the ESG score and all that bullshit.
I would say that Starbucks started it. Like, they did it before anybody. Like, they did it. They were doing that stuff before BlackRock was even a thing. So, I mean, because hell, it wouldn't be uncommon to see a purple hair person at the Starbucks in San Diego.
Yeah, and that's not indicative of the gay community either.
No.
That's the fucking nut job that's
just,
latched on to that. That's the fucking last half of the alphabet.
And purple hair is not necessarily a bad thing. But again, if you have a business that caters to society, whatever your political affiliations or whatever, that should have nothing to do with. It should have nothing to do with your business. And if it doesn't have anything to do with your business, and if you just tell people the political ideology of this corporation is none of your business, you're going to make more money. Because, a good cup of coffee is a good cup of coffee. A good car is a good car. I mean, people hate Elon Musk, but he can still sell Teslas. You
got a ton of coffee companies standing up right now. Tim Pool's got one, and the Quartering, he's got one.
But I would say that the only reason
Nicole, Holler Roast, you guys might not be aware, we have a line of coffee. You can get it at hollerroastcoffee.com. Roasted as you ordered. If you order it today, it gets roasted tomorrow. It's fresh.
I would say that the reason why you have all these pop-up coffee companies is because of the political affiliation that Starbucks aligned themselves to. And if they would have never done that, then I think places like, all these coffees that have come out that have like catered to the right wouldn't exist, because people would be like,
I'd like to see
Starbucks
the financials for like Jeremy's Razors. Are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Boring, he's the dude, Shapiro's group, that whole group over there. Peterson's with him now. Then he did Jeremy's Chocolate.
Yeah, Jeremy's Chocolate.
I'd like to see the actual numbers, see what that's doing. Whatever happened to, you remember the dudes, is it Shave Club? Who had the lion? They had a lion, and they did some badass videos.
I believe Shave Club is still around.
Still around?
Because the razors are cheap, so they provide a good product. Even, with Jeremy's Chocolate, it's funny, because
Yeah, it's hilarious.
it's hilarious. But again, it's a company providing a service, and he is showing a political agenda. So you're alienating customers. Why alienate customers? Why not just be like, hey, our chocolate is better than Hershey's because Hershey sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's just like there's no reason to alienate any customer base for some sort of a political statement. Because again, the reason, contrary to what all you people on the left think, the reason you start a business is to make money. And the more people you can reach, the more money you can make. And then if you want to use your money to put a gay pride flagpole in your front yard or an American flagpole in your front yard, that's the whole point of making money.
Are you on TikTok still? Do you have TikTok?
I have TikTok. I don't.
Are you aware?
I don't post TikTok videos.
Have you looked at the TikTok, the pulling the thread TikTok?
I have not.
There's a ton of comments. Well, there's a ton of comments on fucking all of them. But when we talked about Target and the trans clothing.
Yeah. Oh, about that it didn't happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, like, where have you been? Like,
yeah. Where have you been? Why are you in Iraq? The problem is,
how did you get to our page? Like,
so
how
many,
did you get here?
The problem is there's so many people that are still living at home with their mothers.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys, get out of the basement. Put the video game down. I know it's fun, but
how was your Independence Day?
It was wonderful.
What'd you do?
I shot guns and blew shit up.
You didn't catch on fire?
There was a fire. Yeah, there was.
Did you make it, or something landed on the ground and caught a fire?
I mean,
why do you look at him?
Technically, we made it. It was just the residuals of all the fireworks we fired, and I made a big pile of them, and then they just decided to catch on fire and shoot more fireworks that were actually still in the fireworks. So I guess technically we made it.
Could you launch, if during the 4th of July when people are firing fireworks?
Yes.
Could you fire real pyrotechnics and destructive devices, or would people know?
Okay, when you say real pyrotechnics or destructive devices, when you were watching a show in Nashville or New York City, or those are real pyrotechnic devices.
Correct.
But are you talking about like a White Star cluster?
No, that's not impressive. Could you fire 20 RPGs on 4th of July without somebody showing up?
Could you? I mean, if you had a good backdrop, I think you could. I don't know. Maybe. It just depends on how they hear it. I think you could get away with the explosion, but if somebody was driving by your house and heard an RPG whistling through the air as it was going to the berm, you might get a call. Somebody might call, but then again, this is Tennessee, so technically we could probably get someone here that has a legally operating RPG and be able to fire it. I just don't know how expensive that would be. It sounds like, from a totally legal perspective, right? If we go through all the loopholes, or not loopholes, if we go through all the hoops that you have to go through to get that kind of stuff,
$200 tax stamp for every round.
Yeah, $200 tax stamp. But then again, how much does an RPG round cost?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm assuming they got to be expensive.
I just threw that out there. I mean, I'm sure there's something way more impressive than that.
An RPG?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, 60 millimeter mortar maybe?
Cannon. You could have a cannon.
Would 81 millimeter loom count?
That's not very cool.
I mean, I think it's cool if you can fire it fast enough.
Wouldn't you rather have a real round?
But then you have to have a lot of space.
Just fire it straight up.
You can only do that once.
It'll come back. Just run really fast. How long do you have till it hits the ground?
You still can only do it once. And John, because I know you've done this before.
I have not done this
I know
before.
you've done this before. It's like shooting an arrow straight up in the air.
Oh, yeah, we've done that.
So it's kind of,
oh, yeah,
yes,
totally did that.
running may be a good thing, but also you might run right into where she's coming down too.
I had field points like XX-175 or Game Getter 2s at Mom's house, and we would fire it up. We'd fired it a lot up, right? And then like 6 months later, we're over at Portola, the abandoned school that they didn't finish till years later, and there's a fucking arrow in the top of a fucking tractor sitting there. I don't know where the other arrows went. It's a wonder we didn't kill somebody.
Big sky, little bullet.
I guess.
Big sky, little bullet. Well,
Do people
it's
get
terrible.
shot in Chicago every time that happens?
It's terrible. I say big sky, little bullet because
What about in Iraq? When you see the movies in Iraq, like all this, like the news of Iraq, and they're just fucking hundreds of dudes.
big sky,
Do people get shot with those bullets?
big sky, big desert. So yes, people do get hit by bullets that people shoot in the air, but in the big scheme of things, right? In the big scheme of things, not really. So you think about 4th of July in Los Angeles. A couple years ago, they were talking about how over 100,000 rounds were shot in the air, and like 3 people got hit. Sucks if you're one of the 3 people, but when you think about the amount of ammunition that gangbangers are just shooting in the air to be cool, that's not a big hit probability. And the same thing, like when you think about Iraq and those guys shooting AKs full auto in the air for a wedding. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen.
When Biltmore was building the Biltmore, when they were building the house there, they were still gathering up property. And he said that when he could ride a horse the entire day and still not leave his property, that's when he had enough property. So I would assume if you had that much property, you could probably just fire in any direction you wanted. Nowadays, I wonder if you're shooting on your property and somebody trespasses on your property and gets shot, are you liable for that?
Well,
I guess it would depend on state, too.
It would depend on state. Tennessee, you own the bullet, but
even on your own property, though?
You own the bullet, but I don't. That's an interesting question. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't want to say lawyer shit, but I don't know. I don't know if it, I guess it would be situational awareness or situational, like if they were like in a place that you couldn't see them, and they got shot, they might consider that an accident. But if they were in a spot where they were visible, they might consider it something else.
You better just shoot them better.
Or have a backhoe. Well, I mean, you still got to have a backhoe.
Yeah, a pack of coyotes.
Yeah. That's the crazy thing about around here, that you can just, that you see these murder mysteries, from Tennessee, and it'll be like, we found the body on the side of the road in a 2-foot grave. And you're like,
there's tractor equipment.
There's tractor equipment everywhere. They'll drop it off right next to the body, and you could dig a 10-foot deep hole. Well, I don't understand why you're not. I mean, I guess whatever, but don't commit crime. By the way,
have you had any murder? You got any good murder mysteries over in your county lately?
We did. I mean, I don't. Outside of the skull that Joe found on his property.
What?
You didn't see that?
No.
I didn't show you the picture?
No.
This young lady disappeared a couple years ago.
Holly Bobo?
No.
Another one
in Waverly, Tennessee. She disappeared. She had I don't know what level, but she had some mental handicap issues. Her mother abandoned her with an individual in Tennessee.
A man?
That man, yeah. Old man. Abandoned her in Tennessee with this dude. And she went missing. And they couldn't find her. Just couldn't find her.
And the old man had reported that she's missing?
I believe there was some shenanigans. He cashed a bunch of her checks, and her mother couldn't get a hold of her, so there was shenanigans, but nothing provable.
Typical Tennessee stuff. Yeah,
and she disappeared. Sheriff's Department looked for her. They had a general idea where they thought she might have been. They looked, they didn't find her. And then my friend, Joe, bought this piece of property. He bought this big 35-acre piece of property, and I went brush hogging. I brush hogged all his property, and there was this road. So you drove past his house, and there was a little bit of a cul-de-sac where people would go and do nefarious things that they didn't want their significant other to know they were doing. But it had an offshoot that would go down this valley to his property, and it was an old road. It just hadn't been brush hogged in a long time. So I brush hogged down there, went all the way down to the bottom, did a big U-turn a couple of times, cleared out a spot down there. It was a great place for shooting, and then went back up. And the whole time I was in the truck, I was like, man, I bet I can find something crazy down here. And I drove away, and then like 3 days later, Joe sends me a text. He's like, hey, man, me and little Joe were walking through the woods or down by where you cut that trail. And Joe's like, hey, I found a purse. Can I have everything in it?
The kid did?
Yeah. And Big Joe's like, give me that. What is that? And clear as day, like he gets the purse, and clear as day, 10 yards in front of him is a complete bleached white skull. And he even sent me a picture of it. He's like, here it is. And I'm like, and I looked at it, I'm like, this ain't real. That's not real. That's too not. It was a very well preserved bleached skull. And then he sent it to me after he had called the police, and they came down and they did the whole CSI, try to find all the bones and stuff. And it was her from the girl that was missing. And they just cleaned it up as best they could, did their investigation, and went home. But nobody's going to be charged with that because the body wasn't too bad. There was no body. It was just bones, and they'd been scattered by animals. So there's nothing that an investigation is going to tell them about how she ended up there and how she died. The crazy part is she was in the open.
What's the speculation? What do they think it is?
Well, some people think that the individual that she was staying with is the one that killed her. Some people think that she just wandered off and had a seizure and died.
But this is an area where people are going and parking and fucking or something.
Well, up on the main hill. So it was
old mobile home or something. There?
No, it was 30. There's nothing there. There's just a circle where you can park and it's secluded. But you go down the hill about 200 yards before you get to where she was. So who knows? But
did he just buy this or he's had it?
Well, when this happened, he had had it for probably 6 months, maybe a year.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, he bought it, and so they're living on it now. So, anyways, there wasn't anything left of her to do the
CSI
do CSI shit, and then so like 2 weeks later, me and Joe, I'm like, let's go down there. I bet we can still find some stuff because when we do investigations and you see all the airplane parts in the hangar and we're going to put it together, they don't ever get all of it. They always leave shit. Like when the F-14 crashed above our house in Santee, I was able to I still have it. I gotta dig it out somewhere, but the canopy, it was a canopy release safety. So it's like canopy release safety on it. There was still tons of parts up there that you could dig around and find. I honestly believe if we went up there today, we could probably metal detect some F-14 parts out of the hill. So they don't ever get everything. And so we went down there and walked around a little bit, and Joe couldn't really find the spot where they were. But then we were leaving, and I'm like, oh, look at this. And it was a handcuff pouch with handcuffs in it.
One of the cops dropped
dropped their handcuffs there. So, yeah.
That's what you get when you buy Walmart shit.
It was a nice leather pouch and a nice pair of those handcuffs that are connected.
Imagine his surprise when he went to handcuff somebody.
Yeah, I'm sure he was very surprised. Anyway, so.
All right.
Yeah. I don't even know where we were going with that.
Independence Day.
Oh, Independence. But how did we get to a dead body on Independence Day?
I don't know. You always turn shit into dead bodies.
Somehow. I don't know. Anyway, so Independence Day was great.
What would have been better? Redcoats?
No red coats. I mean, we have our own problems. There's plenty of red coats in this country. We don't need British troops. The Brits are pretty cool.
When do you think they're going to start throwing some out?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just, again, I'm going to go back to Americans are very comfortable, and until that comfort level, I mean, Janet Yellen's already talking about more bank failures. Like you have the head of the Fed who's like,
I heard there's 283 that are.
The head of the Fed is failing. Like, we're going to do all these bank, what does she call it?
Bailouts or whatever.
Not bailouts. Consolidations. We're going to do these. Those are failures, guys. That's the head of the Fed saying that those banks are going to fail. They don't consolidate banks because they're trying to save you money. So I think there's a possibility here in the near future that people are going to start getting uncomfortable. And it's not going to start. I mean, it's not really going to start with the middle class, because once you start,
the goal is to eliminate the middle class.
Yes, because they're usually very Republican, and they're usually very
it's us and them,
flag
right?
waving.
It's us and them. The elite need more separation, and who is going to fight that fight, right? If you can knock the middle class down to the bottom class, then they're too concerned with feeding their family members to fight, right? They're not going to.
No, well, it's actually counterproductive. Okay, it's really counterproductive. If you're a crazy lefty, what you really want to do is you want to make the middle class stronger. You don't want to make it weaker. This is what they're doing is actually counterproductive. You want to make the middle class stronger, because the middle class is the buffer against the lower class. That's how they've established this, right? You have the kings and queens of monopoly up here, and then you have this middle class. When the lower classes are the poors, when the poors are ready to riot because there's no food at the local liquor store because there's no grocery stores in their neighborhood, the first step is middle class neighborhoods. And they use that fear, they use the fear of the hordes coming there to get the middle class to fight the lower class in order to keep everybody from going to Bill Gates' house and being like, hey man, we're emptying out your cupboards. It's actually counterproductive. It's not in their interest, contrary to what they think, to create a class structure where it's kingdoms and serfs, because unlike 100 years ago or 500 years ago, the serfs are armed a hell of a lot better than they used to be, and they're a hell of a lot. They've had the taste of freedom, and so for the upper class to think that they're just going to hire a bunch of former military guys to protect their fiefdoms, and then all these serfs are just going to be out in the toiling in the wood eating gruel.
I mean, who are your former military guys?
That's what I'm saying.
Class.
That's what I'm saying. Is there going to be a certain extent of people that will sacrifice the republic in order to continue to feed their families? Yes, there will be. No different than when the Revolutionary War started, there were British loyalists who fought for the British against the revolutionaries.
When the Revolutionary War started, it didn't just start. Like it smoldered for 3 years.
There was catalyst.
That shit was going on. I mean, at some point, somebody in the future history decided when the start of the Civil War was, or when the start of that was, but it actually started tons of shit leading up to that.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of things which is what they're doing right now.
Like when they talk about the second Civil War.
Yes.
We don't know when they're going to say it started, but it's not going to be when the first shots are fired. They're going to talk about it, a year or two prior.
Well, yeah, it'll be
the arrest of President Trump or
the inauguration of Kamala Harris.
Think so? I don't think you're going to see that.
No. They're going to be so worried about
that bitch can't. That bitch can't read a sentence, much less.
Yeah, they're going to be so worried about her saying the wrong thing.
Joe Biden falling down and shitting himself is smarter than fucking Kamala Harris.
Yes, that is true.
All right, I got to pee.
I don't know. It's a dangerous animal to keep.
They're really not. They're only like this big.
Still, I mean,
Hollywood.
It's a meat.
Hollywood has people scared of raptors.
It's
you need
to
worry about
chicken.
other things.
Like again, you keep chickens.
You're way more dangerous around. You're more apt to have your life taken by an ostrich.
You keep
than
chickens.
A velociraptor.
By the way, ostrich herd
will fuck you up.
An ostrich herd has been seen roaming the wasteland that is now Paris. It is
Paris, France.
Paris, France. It is 100%. Paris is 100%. I want you.
I'm not going to be impressed. Like, okay, whatever.
But it's Jumanji.
Until they cut the Eiffel Tower down. So you want to tell me you convince me some shit's really happening. Wait till they fucking debt court
remember when I said it's Jumanji. So it's the game Jumanji where shit is just happening in Paris. A Ryder truck showed up to the riots a couple days ago. A Ryder truck showed up. 50 Batmen got out of the Ryder truck with baseball bats and went to go get in the fight. So Batman is in the fight in Paris right now. Batman.
Okay. Paris has the most beautiful natural history museum. So if you guys are over there rioting, and if you're rioting in the Natural History Museum of Paris, just don't burn it all up. Just put some things in a box and mail them to me. I would like to have
for safekeeping.
Some real things.
For safekeeping.
I'd like to have the whale skeleton. I'd like to have the giraffe with the balloons in his mouth floating through the atrium. I'll take that. I don't know. You know what I like. Just send me some shit from the Paris Natural History Museum.
Be awesome.
It would.
Be awesome.
I
just can't wait. I just can't wait till like, I don't know, like 4 years. 4 years when this is over and done, and Parisians are walking through their neighborhoods sipping lattes or whatever they do over there, and the Discovery Channel does an expose on a French guy who's sitting in his apartment in downtown Paris with a tiger feeding it pizza. I can't wait till that happens, where he talks about how he just found this poor tiger wandering the streets alone.
So you know about Pripyat, Chernobyl.
Yes.
So they have there's these ponds there. There's these big lakes that I guess were originally cooling ponds or something, but they've got these big like mongoloid catfish that are supposed to be in there. These that are just morphed, and then you have these packs of wolves. They say there's this extraordinarily large packs, like large individual animals of wolves that are around there, and there's these red horses that have. Nobody's seen them in history in hundreds of years, and they have shown back up in Chernobyl. There's still 1,000 people that live literally right there. Yeah, you can go there on tourism. Like there's people currently going there right now for tourism.
Yeah, there's a pretty good if you go down that radiation rabbit hole, there are people that go on radiation tours, and there's a pretty good video of this guy who's been to like everywhere that is radiated in the world, and he was with a tour group that went like, there's the reactor in Chernobyl, right? And they have all their Geiger counters, and they're like, boop, 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 boop. Oh, hey, we can stay here for like 3 seconds. And now we got to go back to the bus. And so he's doing that tour. And then he goes to Fukushima. And when he goes to Fukushima, the bus driver's like, hey, we're going to go as close as we can to the reactor. And so they're driving. And everybody in the bus, their Geiger counters are just starting to peg.
Isn't it on an island?
Well, the island is Japan.
But so it's just okay.
Yeah, island Japan.
But I thought there's an individual island.
No, it's not a by itself island. And so they're going, and everybody's radiation Geiger counters are pegging, and this guy has like, the best Geiger counter you can ever, and he's like, hey, we can't go any further. And the bus driver's like, yeah, we can. We got another mile we can go where we can actually see the place. And they're like, no, we can't. He's like, no, we can't. We are receiving lethal doses of radiation right now. And everybody on the bus is looking at it, and they all start panicking. And the bus driver's like, okay, well, we can stop here and turn around. And so they stop. They turn around. They go back to the first town. And Japan is doing everything it can to get people to move back into the Fukushima area, where they are providing all kinds of incentives. And this town, nobody lives in the town except a bunch of old people. There's a bunch of old people that they moved into the town. And there's a restaurant where the bus stops so these people can eat. And he's got his Geiger counter, and it's like, it's at Chernobyl level. Right, so it's not great. It's not great. It's at Chernobyl level where this place is at. And so these old ladies are making soup and stuff like that, and they're doing the thing. And he's talking to this Japanese guy, and he's like, yeah. We're gonna start moving people back in here, and it's not as bad as everybody thinks. And he's looking at the Geiger counter, and the ladies bring the soup out, and he's eating the soup.
Yeah, where did this come from?
And he's like, where did this come from? And they're like, oh, it's all locally sourced and grown right here. And it's just like, bloop, don't ever think that your government has your interest at heart, because they
So
don't.
funny you bring up Fukushima. They are releasing a bunch of toxins from there right now,
Yes, into the water.
full of tritium.
Yeah.
That's what's in there. It's a byproduct of hydrogen, the same tritium that you make night sights with right now, and that's being pumped in. There's
Yeah, you can actually, they track the radiation. You can actually see the bloom that comes off of Fukushima, and it goes all the way to the
around.
coast of Oregon.
So there was a lot of people several years ago, a couple of years after Fukushima. How long ago was that? Is it 10 years now?
I mean, it's been a minute. Yeah.
Right. So a couple of years after it happened, there was people showing tide pools in Washington, Oregon, and California, and the tide pools were dead. They were just like nothing in the tide pools, like Torrey Pine tide pools in San Diego and shit. And they're like, there's nothing here. Everything's dead. And then they had cars still washing ashore in fucking Washington and Oregon and stuff. And then the salmon, it was supposed to have decimated the salmon. I eat a lot of salmon. I haven't been checked for any of that, but I mean, it's
you're an American, John.
yeah, farm raised.
You're eating all salmon that was grown in a
Net. Well, but
In a
farm
farm.
raised salmon's not what people think it is. It's still in a net out in the ocean. The majority of it.
I don't know. I've been to a landlocked salmon pond.
Where's that at?
It was in California.
Why?
Because it was one of those places where you could go fish. My grandfather took me.
Oh, that's
My
cool.
grandpa took no. I mean, it was cool because I was really young, but because it was it was like 4 different ponds for whatever you would call it, right? And it was cool, but they were so packed that you could just take a treble hook and throw it across and reel it in as
Snag
fast as you
'em.
can and snag them. So it wasn't like we were fishing, but it was the only game in town at the time. So yeah, I don't know. Yes, they're putting a lot of radiation into the Pacific Ocean because they don't know how to manage the water. It's what are you gonna do?
I saw
you
aerial
gonna do?
views, and as far as you could see was just bladders full of this
Yeah.
stuff
bladders that
are failing.
bladders that have already reached their lifespan, and the bladders are failing, and it's the water in those bladders is more toxic than the water that is currently being released, but they don't know how to contain it anyway, so it's just leaching through the soil. So that's big government. That's also nuclear power. Well, you have a bunch of people touting it is the future. It may very well be the future. But when nuclear power goes bad, it goes bad.
But we have the capability to do nuclear power in a much different manner now. We don't have to do it like
Okay,
that.
this is what I'm going to tell you. That's what I'm going to tell you, John. Smart people in smart fields always say that. From the first automobile to the automobiles that we make now, the first nuclear reactor to the nuclear reactors now, they always say that after there's been an accident. Every single time. We have the capability to build much better nuclear reactors now, and there's no possibility that there's going to be a meltdown. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
So do you believe we should not use nuclear power?
Do I believe we should not use nuclear power? Okay, so I'm going to say nuclear power is just like uranium mines. Do we need our lithium mines? Do we need nuclear power? Maybe we do. But I don't want that any fucking where within 1,000 miles of my house.
So you got a ton of places in Europe that did this whole Green New Deal bullshit.
Yeah, they have.
And they're fucking standing all their plants
They're
back
standing
up
all
right
their
now.
plants up, but they're standing all their plants back up. But the reality is 4 days. 4 days, they built a terminal to bring in natural gas. So in 4 days, they built a natural gas terminal to feed Europe.
When was this?
This was after the U.S. blew up the Russian pipeline.
Did you see the independent fucking dude went down there with all his equipment and shit?
No, I didn't see that.
And then completely changed it. Somebody bought that motherfucker.
Yeah. So there's a problem, and the problem is we are so propaganda based, right? That, for example, you take Europe. They closed all their nuclear power plants. They stopped they stopped their coal fire plants. They did all they propaganded their people by saying, "Oh, this is the best way to go. Because we've closed all this industry in our country, we are now green." Yet 90% of their power was coming from the Russians.
From natural gas.
From natural gas. So they basically, what they did was they said, "Hey, look at it's like me going, hey, look at my beautiful garden in my backyard and my sweet corn and my strawberries. See how natural and how more home we are with the universe by me doing this, and then I'm buying all my fucking food at Walmart." They just lied to everybody in Europe. They lied to them, and now they're in a fucking power crunch over there, and so they're going to have to stand up nuclear power plants. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to do like we always do. They are going to rush to stand these things up. They are going to cut corners to stand these up, and then they're going to have human beings in there dozing off while the
Homer Simpson.
While the damn plant is melting down. As human beings, we're not good at longevity.
So what's up with the attack on natural gas in the United States?
It's just
some bullshit. Is it diversion, or are they really trying to do it?
It's just more, because the reason why they're attacking natural gas is because it is the number one way we are powering our life around here. And so the green, the left really, they
seem to forget that all the electric car charging.
Yeah.
The electricity's coming from fucking natural gas.
The left has fallen into the green.
Do you think they believe it, or do you think they're just towing that line because it's their fucking side? Do you think they actually believe it?
Well, the reality is there has to be a religious hardcore, or it wouldn't work. If it was 100 people, if it was 100 people and 80 of them were like, "Yeah, I know the shit doesn't work." The 20 wouldn't be able to keep them together. You have to have a hardcore religious effort, because it's that if there's 70 people that are like, "Yes, green is the way to go, it's gonna happen," blah blah blah, those other people are gonna say what they need to say to be part of the group, right? And they're gonna do what they need to be part of the group. It's like vegans who go down to Mexico to eat meat. You're gonna do what you have to be part of the group. Thing? Yeah, it is. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. Vegans leaving their social circle in order to go. Yeah, leaving their social circle in order to go eat real food.
So we've got natural gas power plants here.
Yes.
And the new ones are General Electric. And then we have this one right over here, which was a coal-fired power plant. There is one or two nat gas turbines there. They've gone through, though. As soon as Biden was administration, he turned off all the coal stuff that Trump had turned back on. Not only did they turn it off, they blew it up. So, like, this plant over here has no capability. Yeah. And I think that's about legacy, right? So if Trump were to come back on, he's like, "Nope, coal's back on." Well, we've destroyed the infrastructure. It would take years to build coal-fired power plants. So even if we could turn that on, it doesn't exist anymore. So now you've got this attack seemingly on natural gas. You've got all these places, New York, no natural gas. It can be put into any new build structures. Just like California, 30 years ago, they said, okay, any chimneys that go in can't have the capability of burning wood in a fireplace. So they're all natural gas fireplaces, any build beyond 30 years or back to 30 years in California. Mom's house would burn fire. It had a gas insert, but it would burn.
Yeah, it was a
wood.
legacy.
It was a real deal. So now you've got, California's banned gas power tools in some of these municipalities and stuff. No Honda generators that burn gas can go into California anymore. Just silly shit. And they're starting to do it in New York. Now there's an attack right now on all these these old school pizzerias.
Yeah.
They're banning coal and wood burning pizza ovens. So these restaurants are all up in arms, and it's a bunch of turmoil over it right now. But it's crazy. There does seem to be an attack on anything that you can do for yourself, right? It's becoming more difficult to have propane. It's becoming more difficult to have a well. It's becoming more difficult to wood burning stoves, right? They're really cracking. It's seemingly they are cracking down on these things.
Well, you've created a religion around Green New Deal, and when you create a religion, you have to have heretics, and you have to convert those heretics to your way of thinking.
So I think that some people believe in the cause, but I think the powers that be, that are really pulling the strings, it's more about controlling human beings. We've got a smart, in the middle of nowhere here. I've got these smart meters, right? They can turn my electricity off from a fucking computer.
Yes.
Up the road. Well, if I have solar panels, what do I give a fuck what they turn my shit off?
It's not necessarily control. I mean, it is control, but again, when you think about the Green New Deal, right? And you think about all the things they're doing, and you think about ESG, and you think about all this shit that the left is touting. Now, if you're just a regular lefty, you're like, I'm doing my part to save the planet, okay? But when we talk about transfer of money, we talk about money going from you to me. We're not saving the planet in any way, shape, or form. It's not like, Impossible Meat does not save the planet because we created Impossible Meat. Impossible Meat is probably worse for the planet than a fucking hamburger because we've created. There's going to be byproduct. There's going to be waste. There's going to be all kinds of bullshit.
They say that it has so much it's so elevated in estrogen that one Impossible Burger has the allotted amount of estrogen for 1 month for a male.
Yeah. So it's more of industry hitting a peak. So when you think about like the automotive industry or whatever, hitting a peak, you have all these wealthy people and they're in a tier level where it's always about making more money. So if I can get, like, for example, coal, right? We could just assume that coal is dead in the United States. It didn't kill the coal millionaires. Like, the coal millionaires are still there. And the coal millionaires are like, hey, you know what'd be cool? If we can convince all these people that they need to buy solar panels that are only good for 20 years and are going to sit in landfills for 1 million years.
Because they're not gas and oil companies anymore. They're
right.
energy companies.
It's and even the energy company is owned by BlackRock or some other affiliate. So they don't, when we're talking about closing a revenue stream, what they're doing is they're closing a dead revenue stream and they're opening a revenue stream that they can get, for example, the U.S. federal government to give them $1 billion to do nothing. And that's what's going on. We're giving billions and billions of dollars. We've spent more money on green energy since Al Gore than any other thing in history of the world. And we haven't improved any of it. It's a lie that we've, don't get me wrong. I would be right on the fucking cusp of it if we had the battery technology and the solar technology to be independent. But you have two problems there. One, none of that technology is ready and reliable enough to run society. And two, I said independent. SDG&E does not want you independent of their grid. They want you part of their grid. Wherever you live,
I don't think
they want you part of that grid.
I don't think you can even cut their lines or do a non-tie.
Well, if you
SDG&E.
Yeah, if you live in a neighborhood and you decide you want to buy your own solar panels and become carbon neutral. So I want to become carbon neutral. You can't do it. You have to be tied into SDG&E power lines, so you can't be carbon neutral, and they can steal your power and use it for whatever they want. They don't pay you any longer. Yeah, it's a scam, guys. All that Green New Deal, Greta bullshit is a scam. It's just about stealing money from you.
Did you see where Greta just was?
Where she was just somewhere bitching about something that she has no point in bitching about.
She was just in Ukraine with Zelensky.
Oh yeah. She's talking about the ecological damage that the war is doing. Somebody needs to punch her in the face. I get it. She's mentally handicapped, or I'd take it back. Sorry, Gretchen. Your parents need their ass whooped. Okay? There's a fucking war going on over there. People are being killed, and you're worried about the ground squirrels. Yeah, they need to punch her right in the face.
When
tired of her.
I don't know where she was going, but she was on some fucking massive sailing yacht, doing her part. She flew on a fucking private 747 to get there.
Yeah, and again, a multi-million-dollar yacht. She wasn't in a fucking rowboat that she bought at, that she handcrafted out of a tree in her front
Yeah,
yard.
she didn't do a dugout.
She's living a millionaire's lifestyle, and she's mad that she's living a millionaire's lifestyle.
They are millionaires.
Yes.
Did you see her? She's been on social media long enough that she has proclaimed that I don't know. Last week was going to be the end of the world, and everybody was reposting her shit. Yeah. So who's winning right now? Is it Ukraine or is it Russia?
It's a stalemate.
Or is Russia still taking ground?
No, Russia is. I mean, okay, what's happened this last week? I can't tell you, but Russia is doing doctrinally what they should have done a long time ago, and that's defense in depth. That's trenches. That's landmine fields. That's tank traps. And Ukraine is having a hell of a time getting through any of it. So, I mean,
so it's like World War I warfare out there.
It's a sprinkle of World War I and World War II. It's a sprinkle of both. It's not. We are not like. There are places in Ukraine where Ukrainians have been living in trenches for fucking years, and then there are places in Ukraine where it's tanks moving across the open battlefield. Getting dropped off on the corner by Toyota pickup trucks.
Any end in sight?
No end in sight. No matter what the news media tells you, they're full of shit. There's no end in sight. The Russians can throw 1 million men. The Russians could probably conscript and throw 1 million men into that fight. The Ukrainians can't. So no, there's probably no end in sight.
So what happens?
What happens is NATO runs out of ammunition.
Really?
Yes, we run out of ammunition. We don't have the production capabilities anymore because we have a bunch of weak-ass countries in NATO. We don't have the production capabilities. We don't have the equipment capabilities to provide the Ukrainians the necessary tools in order to break through that defensive line.
Is that ammunition all U.S. ammunition?
No, it's coming from all over NATO. But again, what people don't pay attention to is Trump was right. The NATO countries
aren't paying their price.
Have not been paying their way for years, if not decades, right? They have been just fucking barely scraping by. Their ammo stock has been fucking useless. Their fucking weapon systems, not systems themselves, but the amount of systems they've had have been fucking useless because they all expected us to save the day. And again, we, unfortunately, for the last 25 years have been fighting in all these bullshit countries in the Middle East. So we have been depleting our military resources and we haven't been replacing them, not at the rate that we've been losing them. So in the long run, Putin could win just because we all run out of the necessary tools. It's probably the reason why the goddamn White House keeps talking about nuclear war, because that may be our only solution. Our only solution may be a false flag where we detonate a tactical nuclear weapon within the borders of Ukraine in order to get NATO to actually attack Russia.
Man, you see every day Ukraine's like, the Russians did this thing, and Russia's like, we didn't fucking do it. They did it. Like the dam being blown up, for instance, it just seems like, I don't know if I just never really paid attention to it before or if it's just more prevalent now, but
there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of reasons to think that the Russians did it.
Okay.
There's also a lot of reasons to think that the Ukrainians did it.
What about this nuclear power plant? Russia said you have till Thursday to have all your people out. Where is this? What's it about?
I don't know which plant it is, but I heard that the Russians were actually pulling out of it. That they were leaving.
They did, and they said you have 3 days to have this thing shut down.
Yeah, they're not going to. Here's the thing.
I don't think you can shut it down in 3 days.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The Russians have controlled nuclear power plants since almost the entirety of this war, and they haven't done anything with those nuclear power plants.
Nor have they cut power.
They haven't sabotaged them. They haven't done anything with those nuclear power plants.
Shit, the motherfuckers still have the internet.
Yeah, because the Russians know that is a red line, right? If it's a red line that brings NATO to the forefront. It brings actual NATO troops into the Ukraine war. So they don't do anything. Plus, just think of it from a tactical perspective, John. Okay? You're going to go you're a general in the Russian army. And you need to create a safe space for your planners to plan operations within Ukraine? Where do you go? Where do you set this tack? Where do you set your talk up? You set your talk up in a nuclear power plant. Why? Because NATO can't bomb a nuclear power plant. Ukrainians can't fire artillery at a nuclear power plant. They can't do it. So you set your safe space. You've set your safe space in the places where you can set safe spaces. It's no different than when, terrorists, when we complain about terrorists using civilians as shields or, schools or churches, we list the places that we can't bomb. Like they will tell you, will tell you, don't blow up a hospital, don't blow up a school, don't blow. So where are you going to set up your safe space?
Yeah,
You're going to set your safe space
we're the only ones that follow
where it's off limits to blow them up, right?
We're the only ones that follow our rules of engagement.
We're the only ones that follow the rules. Again, the Ukrainians are fighting their asses off. They got some serious warriors. If you're talking toe to toe, a cage match, Ukrainians versus the Russians, Ukrainians win every day.
Isn't that how it always is? The people with the hometown advantage.
Yeah, the Ukrainians win every day. They are. The
Ukrainians are protecting their shit. The Russians were forced to go there.
The Ukrainians are killing Russians, but then again, the Russians can afford it. The Ukrainians can't.
Did you see Trump when they said if you're elected, what would you do with the war? He said, I'd have it ended that day. It would be over that day.
I mean,
it's not. People are making way too much money from it.
Yeah, the people are making way too much money from it. But again, maybe so. Maybe what he's saying is true because, if you think about all the things that Trump did during his presidency, that former presidents of the United States said could never be done, could not be done, can't do it, impossible, and he did it. Like he just did it. First president of the United States to cross the DMZ and shake hands with fucking
just did
North Korea.
Yeah,
just did it.
Yeah,
right. First president to get an Israeli Saudi Arabia peace deal. Just did it.
All of which has been unraveled.
Yeah,
all of it. All that shit. They just
first president to put the embassy in the proper location in Israel. He just did it. Right? He did all these things that everybody's like, oh, you can't do, or the world's going to catch on fire. And you know what happened? The world didn't catch on fire. Why? Because at the top of the food chain, they don't want it to catch on fire. They want everybody else to be arguing over what bathroom to use while they are just fleecing your wallet. So,
are you following any of the RFK stuff? Are you seeing any of him talking?
I mean,
how's that dude a Democrat?
Because he's a Democrat, because everything he talks about used to be the Democratic platform. That used to be what Democrats stood for.
So what about a Trump RFK?
Nah.
Can't happen?
It's not going to happen.
Why?
I don't think, first off, I don't think RFK would accept it. I don't think he would accept vice presidency maybe? I don't think he would accept it. And I don't think Trump would, I don't think Trump would offer it. I don't. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what's going on in the Trump world?
But we heard who the vice president's going to be for Trump.
I don't know. I heard somebody told me it's going to be. I can't think.
Trump,
I can't think
Trump Jr.
Trump Jr. That'd be hilarious. But there's not going to be an election anyways.
You don't think so?
No.
What do you think happens when there's not an election?
Well, we'll already be in mass turmoil.
Who's we?
The United States. They're going to this Janet Yellen thing that nobody's paying attention to is going to be a big deal, right? The more banks you close, the more banks you bring under the umbrella of the Fed. They're actually talking about a period in the near future where because of the consolidation that they are just going to turn the banks off.
2 weeks ago, she said the U.S. dollar's dead.
Yeah.
If you look at the Fed's website, they say CBDC's rolling out in June.
Well, you have to kill the dollar. You have to kill the old system in order to make people run to the new system. So, no matter what, though, if I kill the old system, there's going to be that There's going to be that problem for them. The problem where people become uncomfortable.
Russia says their money's backed by gold now.
Yeah, but I mean,
they're buying it up. There's a cryptocurrency that's coming out that's gold backed as well right now.
Again, why? Okay. I guess it doesn't matter. I say, why would you put your money in cryptocurrency? Basically, everything that we have is cryptocurrency.
So we had this conversation. We had this conversation the other day.
Get it out of the ATM machine.
We had this conversation last night before on live feed, right? I said, all you guys, that are against CBDC and against taxes, right? You'll still walk into a friend's business and pull out your fucking debit card. That's tax. Every time money moves, it gets taxed. If you truly are against taxes, take your fucking cash and pay your friend in cash and give him cash. And then when he does business, he can do business. I said, that's why they want to get rid of this.
Yes.
One of the reasons. So every time money moves, they can take a piece of it away. The average man, 65 cents of every dollar, by the time you receive it and spend it, 65% is dead in taxes. It's gone. It just whittles it away. In 1971, when we went the rest of the way off the gold standard, you used to have money in the bank, and every year, at the end of the year, you would have a little bit more money. And in 71, that reversed, and it just kept getting more and more and more. So if you hate taxes, operate in cash. Start something where somebody can pay you in cash, and then you pay other people in cash. And they said, well, you can only pull out $3,000. I know. I got charged with structuring because of it. I'm well aware of how this fucking works. It was my own fucking money, too. So start something where you get paid in cash. And they're like, well, $3,000. And somebody said, okay, so take your money. You can buy right now online. I can take my bank account and buy $100,000 in Bitcoin. I can put it right into whatever account I want to put it into. And then I can pay these guys in Bitcoin. With the toggle of a website, I can receive Bitcoin 24 hours a day, and it deposits as cash into my bank or whatever manner. I can link it however I want. So I can leave it in the Bitcoin bank account. I can have it transfer into US dollars. There's ways to do it. People are just it's just, they want to talk about it, but they don't want to fucking have to do any of it.
Don't buy Bitcoin.
Why?
It's dead. It's deader. Bitcoin is deader than the US dollar.
Compared to what?
It's deader than the US dollar. Meaning, again, cryptocurrency's always been the thing about operating outside the norms of society. Cryptocurrency is about being able to make financial transactions that the government is not involved in. Okay? The problem is cryptocurrency has become so popular that governments are now going to be in the cryptocurrency business. Don't think for 1 minute that the federal government is going to kill US dollars and your cryptocurrency is going to be worth anything, because they are going to immediately go after that, even if they label it as like fucking terrorist organization or it's cryptocurrency is being propped up by the drug kingpins in Mexico. They're immediately going to go after that, and the full force of the government's going to come down on you, where it's just going to kill your cryptocurrency is going to be worth nothing.
So while it looks like Bitcoin is dead, this is today, right? So we were at 3.9. And then our low right here hit 30,000, 3.2, okay? Yeah. But now it's a downhill. When we go to a week, though, it's uphill. When we go to a month, it's uphill. When we go to a year, it's uphill.
I get it.
And when we go all across.
That's people. But what's going on, John, is that's people hedging their bets. They're hedging their bets against, they're looking at what, like, for example, what Janet Yellen's saying. They're looking at what Janet Yellen's saying about.
Yeah, she said the U.S. dollar's dead like 2 weeks ago.
Yes, but they're looking at what Janet Yellen's saying about federal currency, okay? And they're also looking at the federal government rolling this out, that they're getting into the cryptocurrency, right? They're also looking at that, and so people are hedging their bets and they're investing money into these whatever cryptocurrency you want, Dogecoin or fucking whatever. They're investing this money into it without really thinking about the war that is about to happen on financial institutes. Again, doesn't matter how high cryptocurrency is right now. If the federal government decides in July or at the end of the month that the dollar is dead and everybody is going to be paid in the federal cryptocurrency,
which is I think
right,
going to
but-
happen. Yeah.
yeah, if they make that leap, first off, the United States is not the only country that's making that leap.
Europe already did it.
European Union's doing it.
Yeah.
China has already done it.
They're putting dudes in jail for using cash.
Once the United States makes that leap, the full force of the federal government, that DOJ, fucking NSA, the sole purpose will be to shut down those outside currency operations. They're going to make those outside currency operations illegal.
If that happens, don't you think they'll say you can't buy ammunition and firearms as well?
What do you mean? No, they don't. They don't have to say that. They don't have to say that. If I'm using even for example, even cryptocurrency. If I'm using cryptocurrency, the gatekeepers, if they wanted to, could go, you can't buy marshmallows anymore.
Correct. No, I'm saying when CBDC rolls out, do you expect that they will just turn your ability?
Yes,
to
they're
use
going
that
to. They're going to turn
at firearm stores.
They're going to turn. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to manipulate what you can buy and when you can buy it. They're also going to manipulate, because they've already talked about this.
They've already done it. That was part of the reclassification. Firearms ammunition used to fall under sporting goods. Yeah. We fall under sporting goods. But they redid that SIC code, that 3-digit code, and that's why they did that. But you already have cards blocking purchases.
But that's part of the reason why they had to reclassify it. The reason why they reclassified it was not for. It wasn't really to get credit card companies to keep purchases down. That's individual corporations making an emotional decision to shut credit card companies. What it was doing was creating a class that could be identified when the cryptocurrency comes out, right? So now I have this class of items, so that really it's only going to take a dude in a room that's going to go, oh yeah, nobody can buy 1301 anymore.
That's what Mike Glover said. He said they classify you. Once you're classified, then they can get funding to work against you.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing. They're gonna because Janet Yellen, again, she said this. They will use the cryptocurrency to manipulate the market. So, for example, let's say you transfer all your financial assets into cryptocurrency. At any time, the federal government can go, hey, you have to spend a third of your money right now in order to prop up the economy. And so now you got to go out and buy a bunch of bullshit that you didn't need or didn't even want in order to keep the money. Or they're going to be like, yeah, all your finances expire in 30 days.
Well, that's what's happening in China.
Yeah.
Like they're paying them in crypto, and I think they have to spend it every 90 days. It resets to zero. The money incoming today is dead. And then the smart city thing too. I just saw a bunch of stuff yesterday on it. I actually saw a video of it. A girl rides up on a bicycle, and she's at like the fucking turnstile gates, at an amusement park or whatever. And there's looks like an iPad sitting there, and she has to put her face there, and she actually had to pull her mask down so it would scan her properly. So the gate would open so she could go into the corridor, so she could move through different zones of the city. It's part of the smart city stuff.
Yeah, why would anybody? I don't understand why.
They're doing it right now. You got it in fucking.
I don't know why anybody would even think that's a good idea.
We've got one set up in Tennessee.
Where? Don't believe you.
What's over in what's East Tennessee? The old industrial place I like to go. Far East Tennessee, not Chattanooga. Further. No, it's name some major cities in Tennessee. Knoxville.
Okay, Knoxville.
It's in Knoxville.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, I don't believe it.
It's there. I'm
I don't
telling
believe
you.
it. I'm
You'll
going
see
to
it.
no. I'm going to Knoxville tomorrow and
Yeah.
burn that place down.
Yeah.
It's the end of the world. Why would you want? This is the thing I don't understand. Why would anybody want to live in a prison?
Sell them fear. I mean,
Why would anybody want to live in a prison? I mean, I guess
when we pay criminals and we turn criminals loose on the street to wreak havoc, the minions call for more fucking security.
No, I get why people would want to live in a 15-minute city. I do get why people would want to live in a 15-minute city.
Yeah, those people haven't ever been on an aircraft carrier or in prison.
No, the reason why you would want to live in a 15-minute city is because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a 15-minute city that provides you with all the luxuries and beautiful things that
Like
are
that
going
big,
to
like that big city in Dubai they're building right now.
are going to entice you to move in the city.
Yeah, those people don't realize. Well, they don't even care that there's no food in the city.
That are going to entice you to move into the 15-minute city. You're going to have all the luxuries and things that you think are important, but because these people that are moving into 15-minute cities are not students of history, they don't understand that 10 years from now, that 15-minute city is going to be a ghetto where you are now trapped. Because
Well, I mean, as long as they have this and online video games,
even then,
I'm with you.
even then, it's a ghetto where you're going to be trapped, where there's not going to be any food, and you can't get out unless you bend a knee. And so, I don't know.
You ever see any of Man in the High Castle?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Was it Colorado? It's like the Wild West.
Yeah,
That's
Colorado's
where
the Wild
yeah.
West. That's where you go to.
Yeah,
That's where you go to exchange.
That's how it was during COVID when you were like, even in like Tennessee didn't lock down crazy like other places did, but you'd be in Nashville and you'd see Musketeers and stuff. But when you went to Columbia, like literally just another county in Tennessee, when you went into Columbia, there were no masks. There was fucking people out. There was music. There, like it's like I say, it's like that movie. I think it was Some Kind of Wonderful when he kissed the girl and it all of a sudden became color. That's what it was like.
Oh, yeah,
From
yeah.
driving there to Columbia, you just went into color. That's where all the people were. Everybody that was somewhere else that wanted some freedom, they went there, and that's how it was.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There was a lot of that here in Tennessee. A lot of it in Florida too. That's why all your Democratic representatives vacationed in Florida, so they didn't have to wear a mask. And they could just walk
Ocasio-Cortez was
around.
there. Yeah,
Oh,
she
of
went
course,
there.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're not having an election,
Yeah.
and we're going to be in turmoil in the United States,
Maybe.
civil
Who
war.
knows? Civil War. That's interesting. I don't know. It just depends on how uncomfortable people get. Really, that's how it's all. That's every time. It's always been about based off of comfort. How uncomfortable do we get? Do we get uncomfortable enough to where we go around punching our neighbors in the face? Maybe.
So your
I don't know.
major cities are on fire. There's no food coming in because the food's being hijacked or protests on the freeway or whatever.
Okay.
I'm saying it's not going to affect Tennessee.
Oh, it'll affect everywhere. Eventually, it'll affect
it's
everywhere.
not going to affect Tennessee. You're not going to see like New York, California shit in Tennessee.
It's going to affect everywhere. Are we going to see National Guard? Are we going to see National Guard troops out here?
Not
on a
here, you're
checkpoint?
not. Fuck no.
We're not going to see any of that shit. Are they going to see that in New York City? Yes. They've done that with even small, minor things in New York City. They've brought the National Guard.
So what's the inconvenience that it causes for you and I?
Disruption of it's going to be disruption of services. It's going to be a lot of.
What do you mean disruption?
Disruption of services. We'll have disruption of power services. We'll have disruption of communication services, the internet. All those things will be disrupted. So
this business right here is not functioning any longer while that's happening.
Probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
So we're going to produce food and we're just going to fucking.
I mean, again,
farm and do whatever.
That's the inconvenience of it, right?
It's not really an inconvenience.
Well.
I only have to do what I do every day because somebody's going to knock on the door when I stop paying those taxes and those bills.
Somebody is still going to knock on the door when you stop paying those taxes and
bills. Right, but the dude fucking 10 miles up the road or 2 counties up the road, they're going to fucking kill that dude and feed him to fucking dogs or pigs. He's not coming to my door.
Maybe. Or maybe because you are a financial cornerstone in the city of Camden, who does pay a lot of taxes and who does keep the post office open, maybe because you are that financial cornerstone, that you will be the first place they come to and that you will be the example. Maybe. I mean, you don't know. So there's going to be that's why I always say
how many doors do those guys go to where one of them gets fucking shot?
They don't go.
And then the second, third dude's like, yeah, I'm not going to those fucking, I'm not knocking on doors anymore.
They don't go to doors like that. It's not going to be, if we have a financial crisis where they have to go to door, okay? Again, they're not going to go to Billy's trailer because Billy doesn't have anything. They're going to go to the places where they know that there is money. And when they go to the places where they know that there's money, they're going to bring the people with guns that rely on that structure in order to feed their families. The sheriff's department's not going to go rogue. They're not gonna go rogue and just take their cars home and hang out and be like, this is my fiefdom. If you drive down my street, I'm going to tax your ass. They're not going to do that. They're going to use the power vacuum of the problem to take over the city council.
That's always what
to
happens.
take over the city council,
Take the
and then
best for
they are going to show up here with an MRAP and 10 guys with M4s. Now those guys might not be wearing uniforms anymore. They might be in jeans and fucking Hawaiian shirts. But then what are you going to do? Well, what you're probably going to do is you're probably going to bargain with them, right? At that point, you're probably going to be like, bro, nobody's making money. But your biggest problem is how you feed your family. So why don't you let us help you feed your family? Now, that is probably the best way to go because, again, it's providing services that people actually need, right? Unless you're Pol Pot, you're not going to kill your doctors and your dentists because you need doctors and dentists. So those are the people you have certain jobs that are going to be protected in end of the world or, shit hits the fan scenarios. If you can help feed those cops or whoever decides to take up arms, that's something they don't have to do, right? Soldiers don't have time to garden. Soldiers only have time to soldier. So if I can find somebody locally, if I'm the sheriff and I can find somebody locally who's willing to provide food, resources to my department so I can keep those guys coming to work every day and making sure that the city don't catch on fire. I think that's the biggest thing you got going for is you make an abundance of food so you could bargain your way out of certain things, right? Because again, it's going to be your local law enforcement agency that's going to be the problem because as soon as what happens when the sheriff's department doesn't get paid anymore?
Yeah.
They have all the equipment and guns and everything to actually
you
create
need
their
to
own
have
fiefdom.
you need to have that understanding prior.
Yeah. Well, you need to have that understanding prior, maybe, or again,
we're not going to have a refugee problem here, like not from Memphis, not from Nashville.
You have a viable corridor.
No, the possibility's definitely there.
Yeah, you have a viable corridor.
But the bodies, it doesn't take a lot to shut those fucking corridors down. Carry on.
Yeah, again.
And your local trash, the trash will be taken out in the first 72 hours to a week. Everybody knows who the trash is. When there is no rule of law,
again,
those people will be removed quickly.
Again, that's the issue where you have to recreate community because, for example, John's not going to be out here down by the bridge 24 hours a day closing the bridge down.
Correct. It's
going to be other like-minded individuals who are going to rotate, just like in the military. You're going to do 4 hours at the bridge, and then you're going to come over here and you're going to sleep in this converted building that holds 18 guys. You're going to get some hot zucchini soup, and you're going to love it because there's nothing else.
Right.
And you're thankful that you're able to have a place to stay and eat hot zucchini soup while you're standing on that bridge turning people away. That's the reality of it. You have to create a community. And if you can side with your law enforcement to create a community, that's good. But then again, that's a power vacuum problem where you have somebody who, when you have somebody who's in charge that has all the guns, they tend to want to be in charge. So it's just, again,
sure.
It is definitely better to have a rapport with your local sheriff's department and hope that continues if the internet, the electricity, and the fucking toilets don't flush anymore. But that's the kind of thing you would have to worry about. And then the other thing you have to worry about is 24 hours. Even Nashville. There's only 24 hours of food in Nashville. Those people are not going to stay in Nashville. They're going to use major corridors to roam to find what they think they're going to find. The problem is people in Nashville, the people in Nashville know that there's corn in Camden because they all fled Camden to go get a good job in Nashville. So they know that there's corn in Camden, and so you're going to have mobs of people that are going to be roaming around looking for food, and depending on what type of mob it is, you actually may be outgunned, right? I mean, if the sheriff's department, or not the sheriff's department, but let's say Nashville PD decides they're going to create a gang that just hunts the countryside for food, they're going to be well armed, probably driving MRAPs. And so that becomes an issue too. You got to have the capability to defend yourself against the people that are like-minded. Because again, once you create a scenario where regular working folk have to feed their families, like really have to feed, all bets are off. You don't when you're out there in La La Land and you're thinking you don't have the capability to kill somebody, it's because you haven't seen your child starving to death.
You know we can't eat any of this corn, right? I know they don't know it, but
Well, again, when you're talking about the difference between life and death, that corn is perfectly fine. The soybeans are perfectly fine. When you're talking about the difference, right? If you're going to make Monsanto corn tortillas and people are going to eat them, if all this shuts down and all this fake scenario that we're talking about happens, ain't nobody going to give a shit. There's nobody that's going to be out there that's going to give a shit if they die of cancer in 20 years. The only thing they're concerned about is the here and the now, right? They're not concerned about, how much Monsanto or how much, how much Roundup I'm eating every time I have one of these corn tortillas.
No, you literally can't eat that corn, like the feed corn. You have to do a process called nixtamalization. You have to process that so that your body can absorb the protein or the nutrition from it.
Well, I'm not eating any of it, so.
Correct.
But,
all right, so when?
I don't know. You say when. Again, it's all about comfort, John. It's all about you tell me when.
So if we're not having an election in 24, it'll be before that.
Yeah, probably before that.
Okay,
if we're not having an election.
And your money's going to be turned off in June. So what are you doing?
In theory.
What are you doing with your money?
What can you do?
So you just where you're at. That's it.
What can you do?
I don't have. Are you pulling your bank account?
I don't have the financial. I don't have. Again, people may not understand this. I'm poor. I don't have the financial resources in the bank account to be pulling out money and stuffing it in my mattress. It wouldn't matter anyways, right? I could pull if I pull out every dollar I get from retirement until the election. It's not going to make a difference. It's really not going to make a difference. So I'm at the mercy. Again, it's about comfort. I'm at the mercy of the current system. So the only way that you can sustain things is if the new system, right? And this may be what they do. If they make the new system financially rewarding enough to where people are still comfortable, right? So I have to entice you,
complacent.
Right? I have to entice you. Like if I say, oh, hey, we're rolling this out, but we're not killing cash. Cash is still usable, but you can only use so much cash. And for all the cash you turn in, we're going to give you an extra credit, or we're going to give you triple credit. People are going to turn that money into that whatever cryptocurrency. They're going to turn it into it because I'm financially being rewarded to go live in a prison. That will prop that up because people are dumb. We love pyramid schemes. That will prop that up. And then am I still comfortable? I'm still comfortable. Like if they've learned anything, they need to learn from the Soviet Union and be like, hey, the one thing we can't do is fuck around with pensions. We got to just make sure that the guys are still getting their pensions because unlike the bonus marchers, the veterans of today are way too well armed. So you need to keep the veterans happy.
That's why UN and World Health Organization and all those groups say that the biggest threat to the world is the U.S.'s Second Amendment.
It's the biggest threat to
their plans,
to their agenda. That's all. It's not a threat to
it's their plans, but that's how they spin it.
Yeah, of course.
It seems like a lot of Second Amendment stuff is winning in the higher courts.
Yes, because the courts are finally first off, the courts are finally hearing those cases, and second, they can't not win.
You saw
They can't not win. The Second Amendment guarantees the rights of the individuals, no different than freedom of speech, anything. So the minute you kill that, and that's the thing that lefties.
So do you really believe they can't just do away with the Second Amendment? You think that's just all a talking point to get everybody frazzled up?
It's a talking point to get everybody frazzled up. They don't. There's no way they have enough votes, and they don't have enough state.
So
do you saw?
Amendment. Was it Idaho where the 20 IRS agents went in?
Yeah,
and
hit
the gun shop.
Hit the gun shop.
Did you see the piece of legislature or the bill that's being put forward?
No.
It's to dissipate all of the IRS and all of those agencies that have guns. Take all those guns, and they have 30 days to auction them all off on Gun Broker and somewhere. It'll never go through. It's a nice talking
gesture.
point.
Yeah, it's a nice gesture. It's no different than the House. You know, the House did a bill on pistol braces, unanimously said, fuck off ATF, you can't enforce the pistol braces. It's the same. Okay. It's the same thing. Sorry, Republicans, but it's the same thing that the Democrats were doing when they had power. Okay. When the Democrats had power, they would push forward all these assault weapons bans and be like, hey, base, look at us. We're doing our part to save the world. And we just passed this thing because they knew it wasn't going to pass in the other house. They knew in the other house, because it was Republican controlled, that it was going to get killed. So it didn't mean shit. It's like, so
is the pistol brace thing still active or is it dead?
No, it's not dead. It's still active. It's the same thing. So now the Republicans are doing the same thing that the Democrats used to do. The Republicans in the House are like, hey, Republicans, look at us. We've got this bill that's going to crush the ATF. Hey, we're on your side, because they know it's going to go to the Senate and get crushed in the Senate. They know that there's no chance that Joe Biden's going to do it. If the House Republicans really wanted to, if the House Republicans were true Americans, because you're not true Americans. If they were true Americans, except for I can't think of her name, sorry, Senator from Florida. She's awesome. If they were true Americans, they don't need a law to shut the ATF down. They just need to shut the ATF down, because what the ATF did was create a law. They don't have that capability. They really don't have that capability. So they don't have the capability to create a law. And so if the House Republicans, if Republicans really wanted to, they could just be like, dude, here's my little text. Hey, ATF, guess what? You can't do it. Sorry. You need to shut that program down.
Taxes aren't constitutional. Under constitutional law, taxes can't exist.
You got to shut that program
down.
They're
never going to shut it down because it shuts them down.
Well, again, it's just talking points, right? If for example, if I'm a Republican senator, I'm gonna Second Amendment, yay! Second Amendment, everybody, Second Amendment. You like Second Amendment? I love the Second Amendment. I'm gonna fight for your rights on the Second Amendment, and I'm gonna vote on things that really don't matter, but make the NRA go, he's a solid Second Amendment guy. And if I'm a Democrat, I'm gonna be like, assault weapons ban, and then I'm gonna vote on things that won't change anything, and then the NRA is gonna be like, she's a terrible Second Amendment person. And so all the left is happy, and then all the right is happy, even though they're both playing the ends against the middle, and they're not doing anything for the country.
Because they're both the same. It's the same fucking thing.
It's the same thing. I mean, it's no different.
So what's the fix?
What's the fix? The fix is start from scratch.
When's it change?
The fix is start from scratch.
Never happen without violence.
Of course not. The fix is start from scratch. I mean, it should be all constitutional. Everything should be constitutional based. No senator. You know, when they originally stood this up, those motherfuckers weren't getting paid.
Correct.
So you take away the pay.
It also wasn't a 50-year job.
You take away the pay, and you take away the pay and the benefits.
Incentive. Financial incentive.
Then the people that are going to go there are going to really think that they're doing something. I mean, that may not even be the solution either, but everything they do should be constitutionally based, and everything they should be doing should be for the Republic, meaning if I have to be on a health care plan, it better goddamn be the same one that you're on.
So when's that happen?
It doesn't. It don't ever happen. I mean, if we have a revolution that, if we have a revolution that, or if we have another
What did we fight the first revolution over?
taxes,
And they wanted to disarm the U.S. population.
taxes,
Right?
How
much tax?
The second,
How many? What tax?
3%.
3%.
Taxes. The Second Amendment portion was something that we like to bring up later, in order to validate.
So that 1%,
rich people?
that 3% tax back then,
Yeah.
what's that equivalent to in today?
Nothing. It's like if we
Right.
The reality
I
is,
say this because all the memes during Independence Day, it showed, by now we'd be stacking bodies, or
yeah. Well, the reality
George
is,
Washington would have been stacking bodies.
the
by
reality is, if the crown said, hey, fuck this revolution, 3% tax on all goods, forever, we would be in such a better position being British subjects right now than we would ever be as American patriots.
You could do a flat 10% tax right now, and the government would bring in more money than it brings in right now. At just a flat 10% sales tax.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work the way they need it to work.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because you can't sow the
that's
division.
That's why the IRS manuals is thick.
The IRS is 88,000 pages. 8,000 what you have to do, 80,000 is what not that you don't have to do, because that was written by congressmen and senators on how to not fucking pay taxes.
Yes. Nancy Pelosi does not pay her fair share in taxes.
No.
Right? Not to mention when she's doing insider trading, she's definitely not paying.
Right.
But I say that
when we're setting up $40 billion trains across California.
Yeah, I say that about Nancy Pelosi, but Crenshaw does the same thing.
Same thing. Oh, Crenshaw's deep in it. Yeah,
he's a goddamn insider trader too.
Yeah.
So the reality is he's not a patriot.
No,
he's not a patriot because he is willing to sacrifice America and American values in order to make himself rich. What he should be doing is exposing all this shit and trying to write laws to keep fucking congressional people from being able to rob Americans, but he's not doing it.
They'll kill him.
No, they won't.
Yeah, they'll kill him.
No, John, they don't. That's not how they have to do it. There's no. I promise you, there's no threat of violence.
You don't think RFK, when he said they'll try to assassinate him, you don't think they'll really try to assassinate him?
RFK's different. RFK is not in the system. But what I'm saying is, when you take a guy like Crenshaw,
yeah, they don't have to kill him. They'll fucking plant kitty porn in his shit.
Not even that. Play. They don't have to do that. The money is so deep. The money is so deep, and the amount of money these people are making is so much. They don't have to do that. When you come in there with your own personal values, and what they do is they go, hey, man, you know that dog shelter you like, that the puppies that you like to save, that you give money to every year? We're gonna slip that into the new omnibus bill. We're slipping in. It's going to be the best. It's going to be the best fucking dog rescue on the planet. And you're like, huh? How about that? That's probably a good idea. I'm going to save puppies. And now they got you, and they're just going to keep paying you. They're going to keep paying you, and they're going to keep giving you more and more. It's why all those motherfuckers who've gone there, who made $20,000 before they joined, are now millionaires, because they just keep paying these motherfuckers. They're not threatening. I'm not threatening to kill you if you don't do this. I'm not doing that. I'm just stacking money on your desk. Hey, man, you're either in it or you're not. And the problem is we are too easily corruptible, and they've allowed those motherfuckers to be corrupt for too long. Just too fucking long. It's just at such a level that I don't care if you show up with fucking a hot dog in your hand, waving the American flag, a bald eagle sweeping in. They figure out what your weakness is, and then they pay you off, and before long, you're just like, yeah, insider trading is not really a crime, not for me. No laws that govern American citizens do not govern them. So they cannot create a law that allows them to be exempt from anything that American citizens are not exempt for. So insider trading,
they did create laws.
I don't care if Congress created a law. I don't care if they created a law that says they are exempt from insider trading.
So
it's constitutionally illegal and should be fucking stricken down. But those assholes won't do it because they're making money.
The same Constitution that says you don't have to pay taxes, the same fucking Constitution that says you don't have to have a driver's license to travel. So when are the guillotines coming out? Obama bought 18,000 of them.
I don't know where they're at. You know, it'd be cool. I'm getting excited about this, but it would be cool somewhere, probably, I don't know, like pick a military base that just is on the chopping block to be closed, or
It's about to become another FEMA camp.
no, that's just it's one of those places where they don't really do a lot of training, like Fort Huacachuca, if you're a real thing. Fort Huacachuca, right? It's Fort Huacachuca. They got a security detail of some gate guards. There's some civilian contractors on there that keep the heat running in the building, and then there's a warehouse. And that warehouse is full of Obama guillotines, right? It's just got to be full of Obama guillotines. Right. And that contractor, you know, every now and then he'll like bring one of his buddies in, and he'll be like, "Look at all these guillotines. I don't know where they came from." And then they'll
show up with a pumpkin.
Yeah, they break one out of the crate, and now they're cutting pumpkins in half and shit. There's somebody that's having a good time with the guillotine, and the whole time he's like, "I don't know why we got him here. The base is going to close." There's somebody that is having a good time. It would be interesting to know if they were real guillotines.
They're stainless steel. They're real guillotines.
Yeah, but it would be interesting to know if they were real people guillotines, because they do use them in the Fauci "let's kill puppies" factories. They do use them.
Yeah, these are supposed
research
to be
to kill.
They're supposed to be like 12, 16
to kill
feet
animals.
tall. Did you Google it? Did you look it up?
Yeah, a few things.
Did you find him? Where are they? Let's go.
It says that it's fake.
Oh, it's a
He
fake?
really didn't buy him.
He didn't buy him? Well, then what? Hey, you know what? Here's the thing. You want to go down the rabbit hole? He didn't buy him. Did they ever talk about buying them?
Look it up on Brave browser.
And if they ever talked about buying them, did they cut a check to buy them? Where did the money go? That's the key, because they do that all the time, where they'll be like, "Hey, we're gonna buy this widget or whatnot," and then they buy something completely different once the money has been allocated.
All right, guys, if you want to know about the guillotines, leave some comments, and if there's some comments on it, we will talk about this next time.
All right.
If you know anything about the guillotines, if you've seen them, if you know where they are, if you have any information to add, leave that down in the comments. What's yours say? Still no?
Saying that started in 2013 as a rumor.
Yeah, at the same time, all the fucking multi-body coffins and stuff.
You can go. The thing about the coffins, though, is you can go visit them.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
Yeah, you can go visit them.
All right, leave them with some hope.
It's not as bad as you think. The election's going to be fine. Trump's going to be president. We're going to fix Europe. There's going to be no war with Russia because NATO doesn't have the capability of doing it.
I didn't say fiction.
No, it's
Actionable.
you said hope.
Leave
That's
them
hope.
actionable. All right, I got to pee.
That's hope.